Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're going to be talking about spellcasting. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the Sorcerer, the natural, magical character that summons their energy from within. Today, we're going to be talking about 5th level spells, the spells you learn at the end of Tier 2 play, as you start to cross over into that world-bending 6th level and up spells. This is the final stop on the train of going up the power of magic. And these spells are absolutely some of the best in the game, some 5th level spells, enhanced by the fact that you get to cast them multiple times a day. In the late game, you still only get 1 or 2 spell slots for all the higher than this, but this is the last stop where you can cast it 3 times per long rest. And of course, as a sorcerer, you can use your meta magics to give yourself more slots up to this point. So, what kind of spells should the sorcerer put on their very limited spell list? I've created a top 5 that I would recommend all sorcerers have a look at. Starting at number 5, we have Telekinesis. Telekinesis is a concentration spell. You cast it as an action, and you concentrate on it, and you have to use your action every turn thereafter to use its effect, but it has quite a powerful effect. You use your magic to try to move things. Against a creature, they make a strength save, and if they fail it against your spell save DC, you can restrain them and move them 30 feet, including up straight in the air. So you can just straight up lift people or shove them 30 feet in any direction you want. This is a very, very potent ability, obviously, and you can do it turn after turn as you concentrate on the spell just by using your action. Even if they win the check, you can try it again next turn. You can also use it on an object. If an object isn't being worn or carried, you can make any object up to 1,000 pounds move with this thing as far as you want it to, as long as you're within the range of the spell, which is 60 feet. So you can make it move pretty far. You can also yank objects away from people. Again, they make a strength save to resist, but otherwise you can just snatch objects away and move them towards you or away from the other creature. It really makes you the master of manipulating the environment and is well worth a spot. The only real downside is that it takes your action to continue it, but when you got that kind of power, it's well worth using. Now, number 4 on this list is the spell Cloud Kill. This is an AoE spell that creates a cloud of noxious gas. This gas is heavy, it sinks down, it can even enter through openings into lower regions, and it does move 10 feet, so it's a moving AoE, which actually has a lot of interesting implications. Creatures make con saves, which aren't the greatest saves to be targeting, but if they fail it, they take 5d8 poison damage, and this actually explicitly is said in the spell that even creatures who don't need to breathe or who hold their breath are still affected by Cloud Kill. So it's not something you can just get around by wearing some sort of breathing protection. It affects your very skin, it affects your entire environment. And this has a real cool use when it comes to tactical positioning. If you could get above your enemies and cast a Cloud Kill down on them, or I suppose if you could just trap them in a room, Cloud Kill will just eat away at them. This spell absolutely is one of the greatest area of effect spells out there, and when paired with something that will trap enemies, it will win you the fight most of the time. Now, number 3 on the list is a strong attack spell. Some refer to it as the Psychic Fireball. It's called Synaptic Static. Synaptic Static targets a 20-foot radius area just like a fireball. Creatures have to make an intelligence saving throw, which is a great saving throw to target. If they fail, they take 8d6 psychic damage. Psychic damage is much more potent than fire damage. On top of that, if they fail their save, they also get muddled thoughts, which means you subtract a d6 from their attacks, ability checks, and concentration checks until they can shake it off, or for the next minute. This is a great debuffing power that goes along with a great damage type and a great saving throw targeted. So Synaptic Static just wins on all fronts. It's one of the best spells out there for taking out a whole room of enemies. But what if you need to take out a specific enemy? In fact, what if that enemy is an enemy that you really need to control? Enter the number 2 spell, Dominate Person. Dominate Person's a scary spell. You target a creature, they make a wisdom save, and if they fail it, you are now mind controlling them. Not charming them, actually mind controlling. Many other charm effects say that you're not allowed to tell the creature to hurt themselves or put themselves in danger on your behalf. With Dominate Person, you absolutely can. As long as they're a humanoid and they fail a wisdom save, you can tell them to do something dangerous, fight on your behalf, trigger a trap, jump off a cliff. They only get to repeat the save if they get hurt. So if this is a one and done thing, you can make them, take it for you. On the flip side, if they've got a weak wisdom and will probably fail to save multiple times, you can get an enemy to fight against their friends, killing their allies. It's a really dark subject, but it's terrifyingly powerful. And what makes it even more powerful is the fact that when you do this, you can give a general command once they've failed the save, and they will follow it to the best of their ability. But if you want, you can actually use your action to take direct control of the creature, dictating its every move like a puppet. It's wicked strong and very scary when used, and Dominate Person is one of the most powerful magical effects out there. I would put it at number 1 if it worked on all creatures, but it doesn't. It just works on humanoids. Dominate Monster is a higher level spell that will work on anything. So what's the number 1 for 5th level spells? Why, it's Animate Objects, of course. Animate Objects takes the concepts that we talked about with Telekinesis and amps them up to 11, or specifically 10. Because when you cast Animate Objects, you concentrate on it for a minute, and you can give life to 10 tiny or small objects in the room. So, weapons or furniture or bricks in the walls or just little stones, whatever. You can animate anything that's inanimate. You can even animate bigger objects, but they take a little more power. Medium objects count as 2, so you can get up to 5 of them. Large objects count as 4, so you can only animate 2 of those. And a huge object counts as 8, so you can only animate 1. They all have a little stat block in the spell description with their own AC, strength, dexterity, and attack powers. The most common thing you'll see people do with these objects is animating 10 tiny objects, because you can command them as a bonus action. All of them. So you can summon 10 objects, animate them. They also can fly, for the record, and have blind sight. So you can send them at something and just say, go attack that, and all 10 of them will just start pelting it. They don't do much damage individually, but as a unit, you're dealing 10 attacks to this thing you're targeting as a bonus action. It's one of the most powerful sheer death by numbers spell out there. And beyond that, it also has wonderful utility purposes. You can use Telekinesis to move a 1,000-pound object, or you could use Animate Objects to have that object just walk itself away. Hell, maybe you could even make it follow you for a little bit. You could have it do what you want, and you don't have to control it yourself with Telekinesis. You just talk to it, and it does the thing you want it to do. Animate Objects is a phenomenal spell. In and out of combat, has 1,000,001 uses, and to the creative player and to the number cruncher, it is very, very possibly the greatest 5th level spell in all of D&D, and certainly my top pick for the Sorcerer. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more spellcasting reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.